I'm going to be talking about Galster Park in West Covina now. You ready for it? It's kind of
yeah.
It's kind of scary. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's scary.
Galster Park, like I said, is in West Covina, which is about 20 miles east of Los Angeles, but it's still in Los Angeles.
Better be.
It's off the 10 or the 210, depending on how much traffic you like to sit in. You could find it at 1620 Aroma Drive, which is off the Azusa exit of the 10 freeway. I first heard about Galster Park on a car ride about 3 years ago. As usual, I steered the conversation towards murder, hauntings, parks. And someone in the car brought up, oh yeah, there's this park. They didn't know the name of the park. They're like, oh yeah, there's this park in West Covina that's haunted. Pulled the car over and I said, let's hear more.
Put your club on, throw the keys out the window. Tell me.
Let's paint a picture.
Okay.
Galster Wilderness Park is in the San Jose Hills area of Los Angeles, which runs along the Puente Hills. Galster Wilderness Park is one of the last remaining large woodlands of the unique Southern California black walnut tree.
Everybody's favorite export from Southern California, the black walnut.
They also have something called the lemonade berry. I know.
That's what it's made out of.
When life gives you lemons, go to a lemon berry shrub and kill yourself. The Chumash Indians, you remember that tribe that lived off the coast from Malibu?
Whoa! People.
They lived off the coast between Malibu and Santa Barbara that didn't get much attention last episode.
Nor should they.
They used the walnuts from those trees, the black walnut trees, really often in a lot of things they did. Anyways, those trees are really spooky looking. They grow like spastically in a lot of directions and they're really big. The trunks are big. The bark is dark. Repeat, the bark is dark. As well as being a beautiful, lush forest for hiking, and there are several trails for that, it's also covered in graffiti and littered with trash. When looking up haunted history and ghosts...
I'm sure the Chumash love that.
Single tear. When looking up haunted history and ghost stories, I was stricken with how many posts there were about gang activity that went on, as well as rumors that members of the KKK frequented the park as well.
Are you sure you weren't reading my thing?
Oh boy. Lots of forum postings, which you really have to, like I said, take with a grain of salt. All of this forum post reading. Yeah. But enough people have mentioned it for me to consider that the KKK and local West Covina gangs share the same park.
It's good to see them getting along.
Yeah, reading forum posts, I mean, like, as awful as they are, and I hate misspellings, like, books about LA hauntings are just as kind of corny.
Just because it's printed on paper
it doesn't make it less corny.
Get with the times, people. The country's changing.
Here's something I read online that like I burst out in laughter. Someone posted this. I've actually been to Galster Park in Covina. The first time, nothing. The second time, nothing. Third time, I don't want to talk about it.
That's nice of them to share. Nothing, and nothing.
The park is located with 3 entrances, which is going to come into play. Anyways, back to the car ride. The person, like I said, didn't know the name of the park, only that it was in West Covina, but this is what they told me. The person told me that there was a man who lived in a shack on the grounds who would abduct, rape, and kill children in Galster Park who wandered away from the trails. And if you go to the park at night and sit on a bench and close your eyes, you could hear a voice of a child whisper, "Help me," into your ear. After that, you can hear faint screams come from the thicker part of the terrain as well as panicked footsteps. There is a shack on the grounds and it lights.
But it's a radio shack.
It's a radio shack.
Just as scary.
There's only one left and you got to go to Galster Park.
You got to fight off the old rape man.
Yeah, and from that shack you could see lights flickering on and off.
No.
So the person told me was like, yeah, that's neat, right? And then my eyes were watering. I'm like, yeah, that's really cool.
And then you looked at him and it was the old man. Isn't it neat?
When I began looking into Galster Park, there was indeed a lot of rumors to the same effect. A lot of people saying it had been closed off because children had been raped and murdered there. People have seen a pathway leading to the house of the murderer. They say that they see children hanging from the black walnut trees.
Oh, God.
Yeah, there are a lot of reports that the man would take the children and rape and beat them, like physically just beat them, which is a weird thing to add in there, but the word beat them came up a lot for some reason.
Yeah, tell us again about the rape.
Thanks.
Any chance you get, you keep rubbing it in my face that these kids are being raped.
Everybody brings it up. It made it more real that I heard it in person first and I went online like, it is real. If you go there later at night, a lot of people saying you can hear screams, you can hear pleas for children. They see apparitions there, like a boy wearing a sweater with a massive scar on his face has been seen standing by the entrance of the first and second gate. Like I said, it has 3 entrances. He has been seen inviting people into the park, telling them to come in and see what is inside. The boy has been seen at different ages, once as a child and once as an adolescent. Yeah.
Ghosts can age?
Yeah.
What happened in Star Wars? Maybe George Lucas made a special edition of this ghost.
He's too old. Make him younger.
Can he do some sort of a Macarena or something?
Yeah, people walking around will see ropes and nooses hung from trees, lights flickering, talking about what is referred to as the Galster Park Butcher, is what they call the man. Man with mental issues, used to live in an actual shack that resides in the park. Another famous spirit that you'll see at Galster Park resides at the water tower there. Supposedly a man in his mid-30s was depressed over the loss of his wife, and he jumped off the tower and killed himself.
Peg Entwistle.
It was a giant water tower shaped like an H. Yeah, people who wander off and end up isolated tend to feel eyes watching them. There's a strange energy in certain parts of the park. In particular, I believe the south side, there's a 4-way crossing of the trails. And in that particular area, people always feel like there's eyes on them all over the place. Like there's a bad vibe that you're being watched.
But if you want to learn how to play the blues really well, go down there and sell your soul.
The devil's there, but he just wants to play guitar.
Anyone want to jam with Satan?
Jamming with Satan. I couldn't find anything like police reports or any old articles about a butcher or abductions of children or anything like that. So it's kind of hard to substantiate.
Yeah, the man cover that stuff up all the time.
They don't want you to know about the truth, you know.
The butchers out there.
I read somewhere that the old shack was really just a tool shed for the groundskeeper, and one day many people in the park reported an awful smell coming from it. The groundskeeper, he's a murderer. The groundskeeper and a cop approached the shack really slowly, and they opened it, and there was blood splatter of an animal who killed another animal in there. That's the shack that everybody's really scared of. Here's something interesting, though. It is Halloween. Last June, they found a man hanging in the park on the south end of Galster Park. So it was suicide. So if it wasn't haunted before, it's haunted now. Yeah, it's Galster Park. Let's go right now.